Previously, on sailing Aquarius, we hit 50 knots of winds. Then, we watch land diving and can get to dive as a Coolidge. We left Vanuatu with a little concern about safety in Papua New Guinea, as many government websites warned about unsafe conditions. We also considered going via Australia. Amongst the things to consider, the mains were time, money, and the distance. Talking about time, we had only 2 weeks before Indonesian Rally starts. That's not enough time to explore Cairns or Darwin. Money, not only checking in Australia costs about 400 US, you also require to have a 10 million Australian dollars third-party liability insurance to get into marina. And outside marinas, it's hard to provision, and plus all the dangerous wildlife. The distance and its difficulty. We would add over 400 nautical miles, that's about 2.5 days non-stop sailing. It would be longer and more complicated navigating between Great Barrier Reef. As we left for a 7-day sail, winds looked favorable, but it's always difficult to plan ahead for such a long time as winds can change. But it looked like we will have downwind sail at least for a few days.
We're in the middle of the ocean. Yes. So what's going on? The seas are getting a little bit larger. Whoa, hold on. Talk about yesterday. We got to see 3 ships pass by. Or today, this morning. 3 ships passed by.
Yeah. And the night before, we saw another one. What we really liked about Papua New Guinea is that all the ships were on AIS and we could see them on our navigation devices in advance, where in some cases, fishing boats like to terrorize sailors, probably out of pure boredom. So we set up a sail the first day. Was it first day?
I changed this one that night.
But basically we didn't touch them. Wow, that's not common.
Well, from looking at the weather, we thought that was going to be the case, though.
Well, we thought that it's going to be the case when we crossing the Pacific. But we had to put up ballooners so many times.
We're still newbies. If we would have done it right, we'd have gone farther south, picked up the trade straight on in. It would have been easy. You had the ballooner up. You know, once we picked up the trades, ballooner all the way.
It was quite unusual, as when we set up the sails the first day, it didn't change for 5 days. We actually even got a bit bored, as there wasn't anything to do adjusting the sails. So, our constant companion for long passages, audiobooks, kept us occupied. This time we finished the 4th book of Girl with a Dragon Tattoo series and a couple other books.
I am the greatest sailor that ever lived. I am the greatest. Did I tell you we're listening to Ali today? Pretty good book. You should listen to it too.
So what are you doing?
Just wasting time.
So this is how I spend a crossing. Contemplating the world.
Tonight we have choice of 2 main foods. What would you like tonight? I can make mashed potatoes with that, with the beans, but that might come with potatoes inside.
Nice job.
like to know?
How's the mood on Aquarius?
Good. Except we're a little bit tardy for our arrival into Port Moresby. Looks like we're not going to get there until the afternoon rather than the morning, which is not too sweet. Another 8 hours of sailing because of no wind. You can see we've got 5 knots apparent, which is not enough to move Aquarius.
But you have beautiful sunset.
Yeah, it's a beautiful sunset. It was a beautiful day today, but it would have been nice if it was a little more windy.
We were approaching Papua New Guinea and the wind kept dying, so it was time to take off a ballooner. As you can see, here can lays ballooner upon Genoa, and then it's more manageable to take it down.
We're arriving into Papua New Guinea. We're about 2 hours out. We got to get cleaned up. Howdy.
We arrived to Royal Papua New Guinea Yacht Club on Saturday, and there was a race, so we did our best to stay away from the race tracks.
So many boats around us, and we should be out of their way. This is the second boat that greets us, coming to Royal Papua Yacht Club. Captain,
Yes,
how do you feel?
I feel good. We're having sushi tonight, or maybe we'll just eat at the club because there's a race, so there has to be a party.
And there was a party. We got to meet lots of local sailors. Majority of them are temporary working in Papua New Guinea, most of them in the banks, and they were sharing their experiences about life in Papua New Guinea. The area where was Yacht Club nearby, it was called Harbor City, and it was all new development, upscale shops and restaurants. Everywhere, lots of guards, every single place. Meanwhile, in the streets where less privileged people live,
Where did you get it?
Jungle.
In the jungle? But he misses his mama.
Yes.
Oh. Raining, raining, raining. So gray. And we are off to Indonesia consulate in Papua New Guinea.
we applied for our Indonesian visa, and now we hope it's gonna be done quick. Next day, when the weather was much better, we decided to explore the Port Moresby. We went to check out the beach and it was very empty. Maybe because it was working day or maybe because it was cloudy and very windy. There were people picking something in the sea, but the area didn't feel like anywhere else. We couldn't find one bar or restaurant, so we turned back to the city where we spotted so many bats, or maybe they are called flying foxes. Even locals were staring at them, so I assume it's not so common for them to fly in the middle of a day.
Took about 15 minutes. Awesome. Great experience. We got our visas. Ready to go.
Where to?
Indonesia.
Nice. Indonesian embassy was not too far away from the National Museum, and since we saw that it's not really that dangerous, we decided to walk.
What do you think about that?
Everybody's friendly and smiling.
And really, people were very nice. They were coming over, giving us a handshakes, asking how are we, if we finding everything we want. So it was a good experience.
Mine's longer. Hello.
I always admired Papua New Guinea masks and art. It's so unique and very different. Museum wasn't very big and artifacts were not very old, but definitely impressive. This is their communication device between the villages, and yes, I was encouraged to touch it. And then our museum guide walked us about 30 minutes to the next place he was thinking we should visit, the national park.
He tries to take it all different ways and give it to me, but he can't give it to me. Come here. Let's try over here. Come here. Here. Hello. What's your name? Hello. Hello. Hello.
It was so cool and fun, and the place was really nicely done. Again, it wasn't very big, but everything was done with love, and I haven't been to any other zoo where you could interact with animals so much. Besides interesting exposition, it is a really nice touch to put all these little facts all around the place, so it makes more interesting.
Sorry, dude. Yeah, the eyes like a snake. Keep sleeping. Sorry.
Wow, the bilges are going to be really clean after you're done.
Because I have a supervisor
That's right.
breathing at my neck.
We spent a week in Port Moresby, and I confess, I think we should have done more and explored this unique place, but running errands and sometimes bad weather limited us. But mainly, I believe it was our fear to get into trouble, although almost everyone we met were nice and very helpful.
Finally, beautiful day in Papua New Guinea, Port Moresby, and we are getting ready to leave for Indonesia. Why you decided to switch sides?
Because getting off the dock is going to be almost impossible if we were on the other side. Getting on the dock would be easy, but getting off the dock would be hard.
Is it expensive diesel? Average?
Not cheap, not expensive.
When we left the yacht club, the wind was 30 knots straight at us. We barely were moving, although it seemed like we were going so fast in the big seas. But when you look in the water, we were pretty much standing in one spot.
Boat speed, less than 4 knots.
Yeah, we're doing 2,500 RPM too. And it's just blowing our bow around. Because we're moving so slow, we have no steerage. We were doing 0 knots a couple minutes ago. So it slowed us down to 0. 30 knots of wind on the nose, and then we got hit with a couple waves. 0.
Next, on sailing Aquarius, we sailed through Torres Strait.
Today is the day when we go to check in to Indonesia. 100,000 cocktails.
Join us.
If you like this video, give us a like down below and click here to subscribe. That really helps us. And if you want to watch more of us, click one of those.
They said they came from Spanish.